Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Austin. Today, we're doing episode 53 today. Today, there are some things we're going to talk about. One of those is Hurricane Florence. People are heading back home now, after they've evacuated from the hurricane. Which is good news. But the bad news is, there's still flooding going on in some areas. Especially the coastal areas. Which is... if you tell the Earth to fuck you... If you say F you to the Earth is gonna say fuck you back with a hurricane. That's what climate change deniers are trying to do. Insult the scientists. Truth is, climate change is caused by both factors, man-made and natural. But it's mostly man-made. The ice caps in Antarctica are melting much faster now than they did 10 years ago. Some of that has to do with our eating habits. If we want to do our part to stop the rapid melting of the ice caps, our best bet is to leave meat off our plate. And also go for green energy, like solar, wind, geothermal, water. Anything renewable. We need to stop using petroleum. What's partially instead of driving a car, it's better just to walk. It's more efficient to walk. You don't have to use your car as much. You'll waste less energy walking, like, collectively. One of the most... Eventually we'll replace nuclear fission with nuclear fusion for our nuclear reactors. Which means, if something goes wrong, it can be prevented before it happens. Which is good. Part of the reason why the housing costs are going up, some of it has to do with the cost of land. Some of it has to do with the cost of land. It's also getting more expensive too. Some of those factors have to do trying to feed the entire world. There's already enough food to feed the world, but the problem is unfair distribution practices. That's the problem. Unfair distribution. And government policies as well. That's another problem. Government policies. 3, 4, 5. Which is probably why a lot of the kids in Africa are starving to death. It's not just greedy, corrupt governments over there. It's also war that causes that, too. Most of the crime in Africa is caused by war. Much of the crime in Africa is actually caused by war. Basically, a tribal war. Perpetual tribal war that goes on and on forever. It's about time we need to accept each other into society for once. No matter what tribe you're from. No matter what religion you are. It doesn't even matter your sexual orientation. We should start accepting one another into society. For once. We shouldn't be persecuting people, because a lot of times they did nothing wrong. Like, we shouldn't be persecuting people because of their religion or ethnic group, because a lot of times they did nothing wrong. A lot of times they're innocent. Most of the Jews that were killed under Hitler's rule were innocent. They did not do anything wrong. In fact, almost all of them were innocent. He killed them for no reason. Other than for the greater good of his so-called Aryan race. The Aryan race, that doesn't even exist. The only race there is the human race. That's the only race there is. People need to accept that. People need to accept it. That the only race there is the human race. People need to accept it. Not to go against it. No one should go against that fact. Truth is, we share most of our almost all our DNA with one another. Three, 4, 5. We share most of our almost all our DNA with one another. In fact, we share some of our DNA with other animals too. We need to be. This is proof we need to be more compassionate with animals. If I had a pig, I'd have a pig as a pet instead of for food. Or maybe a chicken. I might have... Because... I believe they deserve to be treated with respect. Even if they're dead, they need to be treated with respect. Desecration is common in slaughterhouses. Desecrating the dead is also known as abusing the dead. One example of something like that is teabagging in Halo. It's usually done to taunt players' enemies. It's pretty funny. But the enemy you're taunting is gonna get really pissed. It's gonna get pretty pissed off by your antics in Halo. 2, 3, 4, 5. They'll end up, sometimes they end up taunting you back when they kill you. Wild or domesticated farm animals or pets, they need respect. They deserve respect. That's what they need. Respect from their human masters. Be respectful to other animals as if you would be respectful to people. Always be respectful to your animals. Because we're animals too, actually. I agree that you shouldn't be buying puppies from puppy mills. Because you're supporting a really cruel industry. That is also really greedy, that only cares about profits. What I encourage you to do is, if your dog hasn't been sterilized, you should do it. Same with your cats. And your pet pigs. And your pigs, if you have one as pets. A pig mill that breeds pigs as pets on a large scale are usually similar to factory farms. Please don't support puppy mills ever. Because they're pretty cruel. And it's also gonna smell awful. If I was a Disney employee, like a theme park character, I might also have think about doing a part-time job too. Especially, like, being a farmer. Like, I do sustenance farming, so I don't have to worry about being food insecure. Like, for a family of 4, I only need about 2/3 of an acre of land for food. For a family of 4. Any leftovers? In my opinion, I'd rather have a pig as a pet instead of a pig for food. Yes, it would be a vegan farm. When my food is ready to harvest. I'd rather build my own computer instead of buy a pre-built system. Building your own computer is ultimately cheaper. You can fix it yourself, too. We need to reduce our dependence on meat. Because that's actually one of the biggest factors behind global warming now. Our dependence on meat is one of those factors. And I've been vegetarian for almost a year now. More like closer to almost 11 months. I might think about going vegan ultimately. Eventually, I might think about going vegan. To do better for the environment, for the animals, and for my health. Because factory farming is a blatant form of animal cruelty. Basically, cram as many animals as you can into a shed. And deny them veterinary care. And let's look for some grass. No, soil. Don't need that grass path anymore. Don't need that cobblestone anymore. Everything should be good. I do have my water, because I'm gonna go plant some sugar cane. I'm gonna need... One thing I'm gonna need sand. Because, you know, sugar cane might grow better on sand than you might think. I'm just planting the soil on. Because I might think about growing some melons too. Might think about growing some melons too. Because on the ground floor, there are some taters and carrots. I was just looking for the guide so I could separate other crops from sugarcane. Because I'd like to have a diverse yield. Because that's what we need. Because you shouldn't just survive on those 4 crops. We need more than just that. We need a variety of crops. This seems to be good. I'm placing sand because of the sugarcane. Sugarcane would probably... I wonder if sugarcane grows better on sand. I was just using sand as a way to distinguish the sugarcane from the other crops. But you know, since you'll see most of the sugarcane in a Minecraft world on sand, that's what I'm using for the sugarcane farming. Yes, it'll be a pattern. Yes, it's gonna be in a pattern. Like... sugarcane. Melons. Pumpkin. Last but not least. Because I'm also going to be growing some cocoa beans too. Ditch the shrooms. I'm also going to need some jungle tree, some jungle wood. Because I'm going to grow some cocoa beans. Because what we need is a variety of dishes, too. Not just what's available. And I'm trying to make the habitat for the sugarcane as natural as possible. Because a natural habitat is needed. When we went from hunter-gatherer to agriculture, there was something called rat infestations. Infestation with rodents. Which was presented a big problem within agriculture. I was just moving that calf out of the way. Everything's fine. I discovered that you really don't need an Xbox 360 to play Xbox 360 games, as there are emulators for the same reason. Which is good. Our computers are getting faster and faster. Slowly but steadily. Which means that it can... ultimately, it's going to emulate every last console of every last generation there is. From NES to SNES to N64. The NES to the SNES to the N64 to the GameCube. Ultimately. Once I get all the sugarcane planted, it'll be on. For best results, it's best to have plenty of water for the sugar cane. Once I place that sand in, this is it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video, dislike if you disliked it, subs if you loved it, share this with your friends to help my channel grow. As always, thank you for watching, and peace out. And don't forget to subscribe and bell icon, too.